Greetings, everybody. How you doing? This is Kinesiology 223, and this is Introduction to Sports Psychology. The classification for this course is W80, which means second 8 weeks. Now, just so you guys are aware, this video is going to provide an overview on how you can kind of stay ahead of the information and content curve for this course and not lose things in the shuffle. So this video is designed to do three things. One, go over the course schedule, the course syllabus, and then also explain a little bit about the relationship in terms of how Dr. M and I will be co-teaching this course. So first things first, Dr. M and I will be co-teaching. If you think of us in terms of who's creating the content, delivering the content, who's teaching the course, that's Dr. M. The person who's grading the assignments in Blackboard, that would be me. So, if you need to categorize your questions, so you can reach out to either one of us, that's not a problem. She and I communicate very well and regularly regarding course materials. But you can reach out to either one of us regarding a specific question. I'd be more like the grading type of questions, and Dr. M would be more in the content related type of questions. So if we look at the course schedule itself, and we scroll on down here, when you look at this, you have four different modules, roughly about 2 weeks apiece, with 1 week of spring break in there for a little bit of a breather. And to that end, when you start to look at the modules, you can see like module 1, it doesn't run in sequential order in the book. You have chapters 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you get down into module 2, it's 9, 10, 11, so that's sequential. So you can kind of follow along pretty easily there. But when you get down to module 3, here we have chapter 12, and then 19, 20, 21, and down here we go back to being sequential again. So just kind of pay attention so you don't get lost in a shuffle. Like in the first module up here, you start plowing through your book on a weekend, and next thing you know, you're reading chapter 3 and chapter 4 when you should be 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. Beyond that, you have the dates outlined here, and you'll notice the due dates for these assignments are on the last date of the module. And granted, I know, car batteries die, tires go flat, family members get sick, you'll have a whole myriad of different issues. If you have some kind of concern or problem or issue, or you have some problem getting your assignments in, reach out to us and we can come up with some kind of workable solution for you. Now, next up, as we scroll through this, you got one thing highlighted on here, and it's due on Sunday, May 5th. And those are the presentations and discussion board. And you'll see a more in-depth and robust description on that actually in Blackboard than you'll get here. But the point I want to make to you is this. When you look at how this lays out, you have all the course content and all your due dates end at the last day of that particular module. And then you have a unit test for each one. And then if we take that a step further, May 12th is a Sunday. That next week is actually finals week. So the way this lays out is you get to have all of your stuff done, and the burden of this course should, in theory, be done on Sunday, 5/12, and then you have the ability to go off and tackle all your other classes and finals and assignments and everything else during that next week leading up to graduation on the 17th, on May 17th. So guys, if we go ahead and jump into the syllabi, and I want to point this out regarding the syllabus. I already have it open down here in the bottom. The syllabus is primarily 3 main things, perhaps 4 when you look at a syllabi. A syllabi is an agreement between you, the student, us, the instructors, and the university. And the university puts together a curriculum you have to complete to fulfill requirements to graduate. We fulfill those bill of goods, so we create the content to challenge you guys enough to fulfill the bill of goods so you actually can graduate. And then it also provides insight and perspective regarding, okay, as a student, if you do X, Y, Z, will you get an A, B, or C? So, this document fulfills on a couple different areas, and one of them is just that relationship alone. The other part of it is it's informational. It gives information regarding to and specific to us as instructors in terms of how you can reach us and find us, etc. It's also informational regarding our grading policies, and it's also informational regarding different resources on campus. So it's kind of a multifaceted document when we get into this thing. So let's take a look here. We already know we got 3 credit hours. It's asynchronous, it's on time, online, the entire course. Now these are kind of important, and I hope you don't have to drop the course, and I hope you don't have to withdraw, but if you do, March 18th is the last day you can drop the course. You have a pretty tight window there if you want to get a full 100% refund. And the last day to withdraw from the course is February 29th. I would highly advise maybe reaching out to either one of us, myself or Dr. M, first before you go down that path, because maybe we can come up with some kind of workable solution where you need not drop the course. And you can stay involved and engaged and still salvage a grade. I mean, again, as I mentioned earlier, I understand a number of different things can happen. And those are challenges that many times you have to overcome while you're in college. But if we don't know about it, we'll never know about it, and we'll never be able to help you. So please, if you have those kind of issues, articulate them to us. Dr. M has placed her information here in the syllabi. Mine will be in the instructor listing on Blackboard. For both of us, our preferred method of communication is email. I'm usually a 24-hour turnaround to get back to you. If it's a weekend, it might be a little bit longer. Neither one of us have an office per se. We're both adjunct instructors, meaning part-time. So we utilize an office on campus, but it's a public office space. And neither one of us have our own phone line, though neither one of us have our own office to place a phone. And, I could give you my phone number, but I'll be quite honest, I'm not even exactly sure what the prefix is. I think it's 925-FIT1, F-I-T-1. But I rarely, if ever, check my voicemail. I'm almost always checking email, and any email that you send me through Harper College will go right to my phone anyway. So to that end, I would go email first. And if we need to arrange something, it's by appointment, and we can easily make that happen. I'm on campus anyways, 2 times a week for other classes that I teach in person. So we take this a little bit further down. Here we are. This is my information. And as Dr. M noted, our format for our emails are a little bit different. We have our first initial and part of our last name and Harper College. Now, in my case, it cuts off the R. So many times I have students who like to say, hey, Instructor Fleisch. It's like, no, it's Fleischer or Adrian is fine. But just realize that if you try to reach me, that the email address is cut off my last letter of my last name. So the course description itself, this is something you should be familiar with, having signed up for the course. And as you scroll through this, we have these outcomes that we try to reach in this course, and we try to touch on to fulfill, like I mentioned, those requirements. So when you look at this, these are your main bullet points, these 12 things. Now, granted, they'll be delivered, the content to fulfill these will be delivered any number of different ways, but just realize these are our main functional areas. As we take ourselves a little bit further down, most everything that we do will be taught and delivered through Blackboard. The book that you'll end up using is Foundation of Sport and Exercise Psychology. I know I picked up a copy from Human Kinetics, and I have an e-copy that I reference. If we take this a little bit further down, this is where it becomes interesting, right? Where you get your grades. As instructors, we often break our courses down into different functional areas, and we try to provide different areas where students can earn points, not just based off of a midterm and a final exam. So if you look at this, you can kind of strategize out your points, right? So you look at it and go, oh, how many points do I earn for my homework? How about for test 1, test 2, test 3, test 4, and then my final presentation? Well, you can kind of see the final presentation is a beast, right? It's almost like, well, it's more than 25% of your grade. So you start to now strategize this, and you go, okay, we're sending you the message that this is a pretty important assignment. And you can backfill the points in the course leading up to here to be able to position yourself really well to be able to knock that assignment out and put yourself on the A train. And get a good grade for this course and not, have like a C or a D. So my point I always make to my students is you start to look at this in terms of strategy, and by us, our message to you is this is a rather important assignment. If you look at these 4 together, that equals the same amount of points. So now you start to strategize in terms of how you can map out your study habits going through the semester. I hope you all get the A train, right? But part of it is, especially in a course like this where it's only 8 weeks long, you have to be able to plan and strategize how you're going to earn those points. So further down the informational side of this document, you have a brief description regarding these assignments, and how many points they are. It's kind of an elaboration of above. Further down are grading and feedback policies, late work policy, assignment policy, attendance, etc. And if you look at this, you know, okay, attendance is kind of off the board because of the way the course is. But for us, you know, it's important for you to understand that when you look at your grades and you hand in something late, you know, you're going to have to let us know ahead of time if you have an issue with taking a test. You just can't not take the test and show up afterwards and expect to have us just hand you the test. So it doesn't work that way, guys. So if you know you're going to have some issues, or you're going to have some scheduling problems, let us know ahead of time. Make that clear. Further down with the course surveys, you'll receive a link. And I know I greatly appreciate the feedback from my students. I mean, I have a course that I've taught for 5 years now, and it does not look now like it did 5 years ago, based a lot on the feedback I receive from my students. So I know I do this, and I know Dr. M is much the same, where she takes that feedback and proactively implements different changes into her courses from year to year to year. So now further down, we have a couple different things regarding policies, plural, that the university has, from academic dishonesty all the way down through, I can scroll down a little bit further, you know, student code of conduct, and then also different things regarding privacy. If we take this a little bit further down, I always like to point this out because, you know, you're in an environment where you have a ton of resources at your disposal, probably more than you'll ever have in your life unless you go to another college. And, you know, you have people that work in these offices and these departments who love helping students, you know, and they love helping students within a particular area. So if you need help in terms of writing, you go to the writing lab. If you need tutoring, you go to the tutoring lab. And for us, if we go down to here, access and disability services, say, for example, if a student has an IEP, some type of individual education plan, we'll hear about it before the course even starts. So we'll be able to integrate that in and reach out to the student. So, you know, you have a pretty proactive network that works behind the scenes to help you guys out. I hope you never have a problem, but, you know, I've had students reach out to me regarding different issues that they've had. And believe me when I tell you this is especially poignant in a sports psychology course. You know, nobody ever needs to or has to suffer in silence. So, you know, if you're running into a problem, you have some type of grading issue, or you have some type of issue that's exogenous to what we have going on here on campus, and it's going to affect your grades, we have support systems in place. I mean, something as simple as, you know, a student might have a loved one at home who's not doing well or needs surgery, and they'll be out of pocket for a week. Now, out of pocket for a week in our course is 25% of the course. So you'll need to advocate for yourself on this and reach out to one of us. And, you know, we have the ability behind the scenes to then create what's called a starfish, and then have that go out to everybody in your orbit on campus, whether it's somebody who is an advisor or your other professors, you know, and let them know, hey, student John Doe is having this particular issue, and they're asking for a little bit of grace on assignments, and, you know, can you maybe reach out to them? And I've done that. I can't even tell you how many times. It's been a ton of times. And I think it's important for you to understand that part of that process is you have to own and operate from a mindset of, okay, I'm a little bit overwhelmed. I need a hand with this, and I'm going to reach out to one of my instructors and see if they can help me, or I'll reach out to my advisor and see if they can help me. And then all of a sudden, a series of events happens where you have all these different resources that you can utilize all kind of fall in place. And I will tell you that even to a certain degree, you don't need to reach out to us to be able to utilize some of the resources that you have on campus, whether it's the tutoring center, the writing center. These are resources that will be available to you no matter what. So I advise my students oftentimes, if not all the time, to utilize them. I am running out of time on this presentation. So with that, I hope you have a great term. This is not posted here yet, but it will be, and this will be where the video is. My information is also right here under faculty information. And if I'm able to get this done here shortly, I'll try to put up a little fancy picture for you over here in the corner. All right, guys, I hope you have a great term, and I look forward to seeing many of your homework assignments over the next couple weeks. Have a great one.